What's up, guys? Today is a simple video. I don't have a trade for today. Don't worry why. It's a video on how to journal your trades. So everyone is going to be different how they journal their trades. This is just how I journal, what helps me the most. I use Trade Zella just because it helps me a lot with seeing things visually and seeing all of my trade setups, mistakes, a whole lot of things. I'll go over it. But I'm going to start with my actual journal outline. So you can just upload your trades and then it has a whole setup. I'll show you it. But I also do this outline for every trade just because this helps me go more in depth about things versus just saying, oh, it's this setup, I made this mistake. You can go more in depth about these mistakes. So also another thing with journaling, the more trades you take, the longer you're going to be journaling. So through journaling, I learned that 1 to 2 trades is where my biggest strength was. My best green days were in the 1 to 2 trade range. More than that starts to get a little risky, and it's kind of saying that I'm not sticking to the best 1 or 2 setups of the day. Sometimes there are a lot of good setups, but generally the 1 to 2 is what has worked for me, and it took me a while to realize that. But through journaling, you realize mistakes like this that you'll never even consider. So when I'm actually typing out my journal, this is the setup I have for it. I'm going to zoom in so it looks better for you guys. So I'm just going to make something up. Let's say I traded Tesla. It was a setup that just came from yesterday. It was kind of not the cleanest level. It's just the price break. Let's say I'm just trading the 160 break, but there's no real clear level. If there's not that great a setup on a bigger time frame, it can't be an A. So then you go down your list of things. Let's say NQ was doing the complete opposite thing. Now it could barely even be a B. But these are just some things that I look at. So you go through your list of criteria, conviction and stuff. Grading it might be the last thing you want to do just because you want to see all these things. But yeah, something you do want to do is grade the trade. Bigger time frame analysis, smaller time frame analysis, futures, volume. You want to see everything. So let's just say this was a C plus after realizing everything. In the moment, you might have just wanted to take the trade because it was the only thing presenting itself. Is a clean price level is the 160 break, so you wanted to get a part of it. And then let's say you got stopped out. You cut it at a 6% stop. So for this percent gain and loss, I do the percent and then also the P&L. So let's say I was in with $1,000. That's a $60 loss, or $60 loss. That's not bad. Could you have cut it sooner? That's something you'd have to go into on what I can improve on, what I did right, things like that. You do want to give it a little bit of space, but whatever. This is just an imaginary situation. Setup. Let's say it bear flagged. Let's say there was a low from yesterday, bounced at 160. Came back, bear flagged at 160. So let's say yesterday's low. I hope you guys can't hear that. There's some things going on. Yesterday's low. What other setups? Volume was increasing. This is just all imaginary. This didn't happen today. Or it might have. I didn't trade it though. Volume increasing. And let's say NQ was... You guys could definitely hear that. I can see it. Let's say NQ was going down or whatever. NQ dropping. You could have more than this. This is just imaginary situation. This is a C grade setup, so it's not even that great. Conviction, I mean, this could go with this. So setup and conviction, let's say Tesla, for example, Tesla was weaker than the market when the market was going up. So you might want to note that Tesla was weak while market was going up. So then when NQ dropped and it bear flagged at your level, just for example, that is a reason to look to get into that trade. Not that alone, but something like that. So conviction, Tesla was weak. When market was dropping, Tesla broke bear flag. Signaling my entry. Just whatever. Signaling my entry. You want to go through pretty much everything. Let's say you're a part of stock hours and nor signaled. So you would want to write nor signal. Just because that's another piece that goes into your reasoning for wanting to get into this trade. So nor signaled. What I did right, didn't take the first test, for example, because if it bear flagged, that means it dropped, bounced a little bit, and then dropped again. You got in on that second drop. So let's say it didn't get in too early, waited for cleaner setup or something. I don't know. But, you just write down things you did right. You could even have been right on a stop loss. Like, let's say, since this wasn't that great a setup, you ended up stopping out. Maybe you stopped out at a good time. You gave it enough room, but you didn't give it too much room. So you want to go through. I mean, this is just what I do. Everyone's going to be different, but this is what I do. So things I did right, didn't get into, whatever. Go through this whole list of things. You can go through your psychology. You stayed patient during the trade. You read level 2 good during the trade. You were keeping an eye on futures. Making sure you didn't stay in through a big futures bounce. There's an endless list of things. Everyone's going to be different, but this, you want to go in as in-depth as possible. There's going to be an endless number of things you can talk about here. You just want to be able to touch on everything that was going through your mind during that trade. So that's why for me, I like to journal. I usually journal like now, right after I finish making my video, so that I have rewatched the trade multiple times at that point. Plus, it's pretty fresh off my mind. Like I do the video pretty close to when I'm done trading. I'm just talking to some people in the chat doing the video. So, it's all pretty fresh in my mind. So I know, all these things. Like, let's say I was fearful of a bounce or something. Or let's say you sold too early. Let's say you were sized too heavy. There's all these things. You want to go through everything that you can possibly think of. And also, I mean, I use Trade Zella. You guys can literally do this in an Excel sheet or on a notebook. Like, literally, this notebook will do you wonders. You write out your trades in the morning. Like, one of the, stock hours interns, he tells me about this, that he writes out rules every day. Don't do this or do this. Don't get into this type of trade. And then he sees it in his notebook every day. And then, you it's much easier to follow a rule that is literally right in front of your face when you're trading. So that is, this is just a general. Oh man, I ruined my outline for you guys. Okay, I'm just delete all that. But yeah, this is generally what I do. And like I said, everyone might do something different. Just do what works for you. And, if there's things that you want to add or want to take away, go ahead, do it, because you need to do what works for you. And if this is too much, I mean, this is not too much for the first thing. But if this is too much and this is going to make you not want to journal, cut it to what you think is the most important thing and do that, because you want to be journaling every single day, every single trade. That's how you're going to learn from your trades, learn from your green trades, and learn from your red trades. Every trade is going to have something to learn from. My bad. So I'm going to show you what trade Zella looks like. Okay, this was a good one. So this was the Microsoft trade. I posted this one. So you go here, you upload your file, 5.4, that's today. Upload your file, and then it just comes up right away. Okay, good. And then it just brings you to a chart. The only problem with this is that it doesn't, it's not going to be your Thinkorswim chart, or if you use Interactive Brokers, your Interactive Broker chart. So you're going to have to plot anything that you were looking at the time. So, I didn't plot this, but this 81-cent level was what I was looking at. That was that pre-market area. So we came up, came down, I got in right around here. So it just shows you the candle you got in. You can replay, which I'll actually get into that. But you see, I didn't grade this one. This one was, I'd have to think about it. But yeah, so this is Trade Zella. It pretty much, you just upload your file, and then it comes out with all this stuff, and then you need to go more in depth with it. And then it shows you your options contract, your running P&L, and your executions. So some things that I labeled in my setups for this trade were high of day scalp, which it was a high of day scalp. You, in a way, I wouldn't call this a bull flag, but whatever kind of pattern you call that. Volume gainer, I have that. Price break, I was looking for this 305 break. It shot right through, which was, this paid a lot. Price break, and then scalp, high of day scalp. You can add whatever you want, whatever you think is something that you trade a lot, in your setups. So gap fill, trend break, consolidation break, bear flag, bull flag, news play, red to green, green to red, all these different things. This trade wasn't any of those, that's why I didn't click it, obviously. But add every setup that you trade, and then I'll show you how you see those results the more you use it. Some mistakes that I made in this play: I did sell too quickly, and I added contracts, which sometimes, it's whatever. For me, I've learned that sometimes adding contracts can be a bad thing, sometimes it can be a good thing. So originally I wasn't in that crazy, $1,000 was, that's a fine position. I added another 5 literally 9 seconds later, and look at how high contracts were. So 130, and then my first buy was 108. 20%. I was already up 20%, and I added some here. So, you're changing your average on that. So look, I sold those 5 for a little bit red, so I lost $10 on that. But yeah, know the mistakes that you make. Anytime you make a mistake and it's not on this list, just add it, and then it'll come. So these are some mistakes that I have made that I've avoided due to seeing my reports and stuff like that. Chasing never works for me. Did not cut losses quickly. I still have that mistake sometimes. That was my biggest mistake when I first started. I would let losses become astronomically big and impossible to come back from. Now they're, manageable. FOMO, I almost never get FOMO. Not in plan, that was a huge thing for me. Taking random intraday setups, it just literally 8 times out of 10 I would be red on those, and it would be an unnecessary play, just looking like, all right, this is just a bull flag randomly, in the middle of nowhere, let me just take it. And those didn't work for me. So now I know Stick to your trading plan. That's why I have a video on your trading plan. Over trading, this taught me that, through the reports, that it never works, and sticking to 1 to 2 trades, maybe 3, is what works for me personally the best. Some people might not even take a trade every day. They'll just wait on their strict setup and trade, maybe 3 times a week. If that works for you, then that works for you. Do that. Revenge trading, that's bad. Bored, just looking to be in a trade, that's not good. No volume, that's a tricky one. Red on the day, just kind of goes with revenge trading. It just kind of, sometimes it alters your mindset. But low-key, this video is about journaling. So, you want to add all these mistakes that you see that you make, or even if you make it once, add it to the list. You see, look, computer problems. Like, I recently added that one just so I know, like, if I keep having computer problems, like, I need to work on that before I keep getting into trades, because it's random when something's going to go wrong. Like today, for example, something went wrong. My OBS wasn't working, which is what I record with, and it caused me to hesitate on a trade on Boeing, and it ended up working. That was my best setup of the day, and I missed it. I ended up trading SPY. So yeah, you want to add that. Custom pull flag, that's in setups, whatever. Custom, you can add psychological things if you want. Maybe say I didn't have enough sleep. There's a lot of things that you can go as in depth as possible, and it will help you in the long run. Like, absolutely, the more you do, the better your results will be in the future. That's like the main point I want you guys to take away from this. Scale, it's whatever. So this is pretty much says during the time that you were in the trade, this is the worst and the best contracts we're doing. So my average sell was around here, contracts went up to here, I let it pull back that much. Do with that what you will. Add that to your journal. See if you could have improved or if you sold at the right time. So this one of my things was sold too early. Looking how the things played out, like, this is what happens to me a lot, and it's hard for me to even want to hold. So it is a mistake, but it's a mistake I'm willing to make just because, 1, I locked in profits. 2, I don't want this to pull back on me with the rest of my position. So I sold during this red candle. Some people held, and I'm happy for them, but for me, this hurts me more than it helps me. It's something I'm trying to get better at. It takes time, like everything's gonna take time, but you just want to keep this in mind. If you write this here, sold too quickly, see that, now looking back, that it kept going up. Is there a way you could have traded this better? But that comes with journaling, and the more data you have, the better your results will be. So trade replay, this is pretty much, you can just watch how price went throughout that time. But for me, I just record my trades. I prefer recording your trades because, like, for example, right here, you can't see futures, whatever futures are doing. They did add level 2 and times of sale, so that's good. Another thing I'd like to see is my reaction. A lot of time, my reaction tells me a lot about how I was feeling at the time. So let's say when price started pulling back, I can see in my face sometimes, like, how I felt. Like, you can see, if I ever, like, open my eyes or something, it's because I was feeling some type of way. And that's, for me, that's important. That helped me a lot. See, I don't know why. Yeah, whatever. You see, this is why recording your screen might be better than watching this trade replay, but it does help. Whatever. I don't want you guys to be pocket watching. Okay. I'll show you the reports. What I was talking about. I'm just gonna do the month of April. If this loads, okay. So this is all in Zella. This is why I use Zella. Like, things like this help me. So you can see like pretty much everything. You can't deny these. These are all facts. Monday through Wednesday, it looks like I do better. Thursday and Friday, I do worse. I know exactly why this is because I size up. You know, I keep the same size here. So one loss on a Thursday or Friday, what would be a 5% loss on a Monday is going to be a 15% loss on a Friday. And, you know, that's why you have to size better on Thursdays and Fridays. Weeks, time. So I'm a super quick scalper. So seeing things like this, you know. So one thing that I did used to see is that trades past 11 would be where I don't do that good. So with that information, I would end my day as early as possible. You know, end it at 11. 11 is a long day for me, I'm not going to lie. But I used to come back, trade some dumb setup at 2 o'clock with no volume, no real setup on a bigger time frame, and give back my gains for the day. So seeing this over time, month after month, day after day, it told me that this is my best time and this is when I should be trading, when I should be putting my focus in trades. Trade duration, you can see that's 10 to 30 minutes. So yeah, if you see that you're doing best as scalping, and that you do worse on these longer time frames, you can literally, like, let's say 1 to 2 minutes and that's all your green, everything else is red. If you see a trade that you're holding longer than 2 minutes, you can literally just sell and just, you know, recoup and see if you want to get back in, just because your data is saying that you're probably holding for the wrong reasons based off of your edge. Price, volume, instrument. See, look, NVIDIA, boom. This was honestly, most of this was from like 2 plays, but whatever. SPY, so I know that SPY in the month of April is what I did best in, and it's for a reason. Like, the trades I take on SPY are different than these. I usually trade reversals, not breakouts, and the market we've been in, especially the month of April, has been better for these reversal plays. Damn, I'm sorry guys, this video is long, but this is trade Zella. All these things, setups. See, these are the setups I do good in, these are the setups I do bad in. See, trend break, I only add that to something else if there's a trend breaking on a reversal or something like that. Sometimes I'll just trade the trend break, and see, I only took 2, so yeah. Mistakes. See, look at all these mistakes. So the only mistake that I'm green in is selling too quickly. So I know that that's not my main priority. However, it is good to fix this if you can. If you can't, like, if it's gonna hurt you more in the long run to fix that, then don't even make that big a deal about it. Focus on these. You see, not cutting losses quickly costed me so much. Yeah, this has always been my main thing. So this is something I always need to keep working on, is cutting my losses quickly. Poor execution could be getting in late, getting out late, not selling when I should have sold, things like that. Tags, I don't think I have anything yet. So yeah, this is the process I go through when I'm journaling. I check these reports usually like once a month, because you want more data. You can't check this every day just because you don't have enough data. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I might just cut it there. It's low-key already a pretty long video. Hopefully this helps you guys. Main takeaway, the more effort you put into journaling, the more it will help you in the long run. Like, if you're still a growing, developing trader, you need to know what your edge is, and you need to know what costs you the most. If you work most on your edge and cut out the top mistakes, that's going to help you so much in the long run. Like, literally, it was probably 3 mistakes that cost me the most back when I started, and then like 2-3 things that now I know, like, all right, if I just take 1 to 2 trades in a day, stick to my pre-market plan, and execute when I know I should, hold longer and sell, not, look, don't cut losses, or don't let losses run, pretty much. But yeah, that's it. I hope this helps you guys. Peace.